Hello and welcome to Apex to Oval. To what way is this? I don't know which way this is. This is Jack, the co-host. Down over there on the end is Michael Palmateer, semi-professional motorsports photographer. Um, Now I've talked to you a little bit behind the scenes, and you've actually helped me improve a lot in my motorsports photography. So, could you just get a round of applause real quick? Thank you. So the first question. Do you watch any motorsport series? If you do, what series do you watch, and which ones do you enjoy the most?
Um, I probably watch anything that has four wheels and competition, minus Formula E. I don't know. I've just never really gotten into it. Probably my two biggest series I watch. Um, well, I guess I'll say three. Um, is the Trans Am series, IndyCar, and Formula One. So those are my three biggest that I kind of deal with.
What do you think of the current F1 season? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's pretty good, but I'm also a McLaren fan, so
Ooh,
I think it's
ah,
I think it's
Oh,
fantastic.
who are you? Who are you pulling
Lando,
for? Okay, I
Lando,
figured. Looking
yeah,
behind you, but
yeah. Um, I'm a Lando fan. I've been a fan of him I mean, I kind of loosely followed Formula One off and on. I never really got into drivers, and then when like COVID hit, I saw him, Charles Leclerc were like streaming. I thought him, Albon, George, Leclerc, Lando were all really funny. And I don't know, I just thought Lando ended up being my favorite out of the bunch. I don't know, there was something about him that I don't know. I thought he was pretty funny to watch. And then as he started getting better, the car got better. I was like, okay, this dude's like a pretty good driver. Lando gets a lot of hate on the internet, but I think I like that he shows emotion a little bit. He's not as stoic as Max, but I think it's going to come down to interesting couple races here towards the end. So
yeah. I kind of wish I was able to watch that Twitch like live stream era of COVID
yeah,
because I started watching in 23, so I had no clue who they were back then. But yeah, that era is seemingly one of the best in F1.
yeah,
yeah, and Lando's finally got a championship caliber car.
yes,
Also has a
finally.
championship caliber teammate, kind of out of nowhere.
That's the
But
unfortunate thing too, man. Is both drivers are really good, and I think the fight. I think people want it to like turn into like a Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg style of fight where they just hate each other. And those two
but
guys don't seem like that's. I mean, obviously, I think if something crazy happens, it could be possible. But overall, like I think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be pretty respectful for the most part, unless something absolutely asinine happens. So
yeah, I mean,
It has been, to be
up to
fair.
the break, it's been real close, but they haven't been wrecking each other. So
exactly.
Yeah, the only time they wrecked was when Lando misjudged an Oscar in Canada, and
Yeah,
that wasn't intentional, and it was just a
yeah.
misjudgment. That was
And
all like,
he 100% like admitted like oh, that was I was stupid. That was my bad. And I
yeah,
think if he was like, "Oh, Oscar tried to block me," I think that could have turned into something bad. But him being like,
yeah,
that I kind of got a little too ambitious."
yeah. The thing was, what it looked like if he waited like just like a couple more seconds, I feel like that move actually would have worked really well.
Yeah, I think
Because from what it looked
he
like,
had the
Oscar
run.
moved over, and then he was moving back over to the outside, and then, but
Yeah.
yeah. Um, your favorite driver's Lando? You watch F1. Do you have any predictions for the season? For the rest of the season?
I mean, for one, who do you think ends up winning? Are you gonna put in a vote for Lando or?
I'm gonna put Lando, but I think um, this is the I think he's gonna make like I want to say uncharacteristic mistake, but like I said, he gets emotional in it, and as much as I do like that, I think Oscar's too level. Um, to where if he does, I mean, I've seen glimpses, cracks in the armor where Oscar, like during Silverstone, was losing his mind. And I was like, I think if something like that happens again, I think if it happens one or two races, Lando will might be able to work his way back in. I think as it goes right now, I think if Lando wins this race coming back from summer break, I think he's going to have the momentum, and I feel like it's going to be close, but I think Lando gets it done if he wins the first race back. If he doesn't, something happens, I think Oscar, and then it'll be close, but I think Oscar finishes it out.
Right. Do you have any, can we get a blessing for Ferrari real quick? 'Cause,
No.
dude, it's rough out here, man.
Sorry.
I'm a Lewis fan. I've been a Lewis fan.
If you want to enjoy
21.
watching Ferrari, go watch WEC, because apparently they win everything over there. Yeah, you're not going to get any enjoyment watching Formula One Ferrari.
Listen, Ferrari only started dominating WEC this year, bro. Porsche dominated WEC last year, and they're falling off a cliff this year, and Ferrari is taking it. Oh my god!
For some reason, they can't get the car to work right when it comes to WEC. In IMSA, they're still pretty dominant. I don't know if it's like the BOP that they have in IMSA, but in WEC, it's just not working.
I hate the BOP in WEC. I really do, because it ruins innovation.
IMSA, their BOP, I don't know what their team is. It is immaculate though, because I think in the latest race for the GTP there was about 12 to 16 cars. All of them were fighting on the lead lap until like the last. There was about maybe half the grid still on the lead lap after wrecks and pit stops, and it's like they fought the whole time. So I think IMSA's nailed it with the BOP. WEC, I think they do kind of stunt innovation a little bit, but it's still enjoyable to watch.
It's enjoyable. It's just, I hate that the innovation is curbed after. If you're too dominant, you should be encouraging other teams to, produce more to get better results.
IMSA kind of lets them take the gloves off a little bit. Like, it was fun watching, what was it? It was Road America, their little 2.5 hour. They call it a sprint, but I mean, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like, that's not a sprint race, but it's sprint in their regards. But I mean, these GTP cars were bumping each other all over the place, and it's like, dude, those things are almost like, I think like something almost 3 million, depending on just the car itself, and they're just rubbing each other down the side, spinning each other out, and I'm like, oh, I love it. Absolute cinema.
I have a question for you about kind of endurance, but an endurance driver. If you could pick one driver to win a race, a 1v1 race on the 24-hour, well, basically 24-hour, the Nürburgring circuit, the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Yeah.
Who would you pick, Kevin Estre or Max Verstappen?
Kevin Estre.
There we go. That's the only answer.
So, and it's not like Max Verstappen's not a good driver. I think to be honest, you give him a year in that type of car, I think he wins.
Yeah.
But Kevin Estre does this as a job for however many years he's done it. I mean,
he should have won this past year, but that's another issue.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's another issue.
I mean, and then you got other good drivers like Nick Tandy. He's won. I think he's the only one to win the Grand Slam of 24 hours. So he's won Daytona, he's won Spa, he's won Nürburgring, and then he's won Le Mans as well. So he's the only one to win all four that I know of.
Damn.
Yeah, Nick Tandy's a nutbag. He's crazy. Super nice guy, but he's doing those 24-hour races like he's crazy.
Yeah. How'd you get into motorsports?
What? So, nobody make fun of me. I'm from Georgia, from the South. I got into it with NASCAR, and my father actually used NASCAR to teach me numbers and colors. Because when
that is awesome.
So when my dad was in the Marine Corps, we got stationed over in Japan, and that and baseball were really two of the main sports that kind of migrated over to Japan. Just because the car scene's so big in Japan, that and baseball. So they, in '97, they did their whole like Suzuka expedition, or like, basically it was like a series they did Suzuka. So when we got there in like '98, '99, I was really young, and NASCAR was kind of exploded there. And by the time I was 3, I knew how to say words like Pennzoil, and I knew like I knew Yellow, and I became glued to Jeff Gordon. That was my guy all growing up. I loved the rainbow car. I loved, um, still a fan of him. I wish he's a little older now, which it sucks seeing videos of him with like gray hair and everything, because that dude is literally my childhood. I remember in my house I had a mural of his numbers on my wall that me and my dad painted. Um, but yeah, Jeff Gordon was my guy. NASCAR was my thing growing up, and then as I got older, I was like, oh my god, these cars turn left too and right. Let me get out of NASCAR. Yes, that's it, dude. That's my car. I have big diecast versions. I have and then I got to see him one time. I only got to see him. I never got to meet him. We went to Talladega the year that he won, and all the fans like threw cans at him, threw cans at his car. I forget what year it was. I can't remember if my sister had been born yet, but we went that year, and I got to meet Kurt Busch. So I have a picture somewhere over here with me and my dad. We got to meet Kurt Busch. But I was so upset that I never got to meet Jeff Gordon that day. I only got to see him as he was walking by, but obviously he's Jeff Gordon, so he was surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people at all times. So other than that, yeah, that's my intro into motorsports. I just always liked it, I think.
I'm trying to find
intro.
a photo I have.
Alex is looking for something down there.
I'm looking for a photo. I think so. My grandparents are in North Carolina right now, or they live there now, but they were at a nursing home where I believe they had a Jeff Gordon car.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. I think I have a photo of it on my phone.
North Carolina is
crazy. But it was
crazy.
like a Jeff Gordon.
What do you mean at the nursing home?
Bro, dead ass. Hold up. Let me try to find this. Because I'm dead serious. Yeah, here we go. It was a 24 DuPont.
Yeah, that's at the nursing home?
In the nursing home. It's gone now. They took it out, sadly. But this was in the nursing home for like 6 months. It was...
You got to put it somewhere.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it had like on the... Oh, that's not... But I took a photo with it. It was great.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll show mine.
But yeah, it was a...
That's mine. That's me with... I know it's hard to see, but that's me and my dad with my Jeff Gordon hat. And Kurt Busch right there. That's back when he was in the Sharpie car.
I love Kurt.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Kurt. I never got to watch him race. Again, I started watching motorsports extremely late compared to, like, Jack.
Yeah.
Like, Jack watched years prior than I did. I started F1 in 2023. I started NASCAR in 2024. So I'm like... But one of my favorite things...
You gotta catch up on some lore.
I gotta catch up on... Well, I've caught up on some of the lore because the radioactive Kurt Busch... Radioactive is some of the most beautiful thing you'll ever listen to in your life. Like, it is beautiful. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. How did you get into sports photography / motorsports photography? Well, how did that...
So it actually stemmed from back in 2023, I went to an IndyCar race in Nashville. I'd been really wanting to get to one. They don't do it in downtown Nashville anymore due to construction. It's at the Speedway, about 45 minutes away, and it's the season finale. But I believe next year or the year after, it's going to be back, but it literally goes right down through Broadway. They come around, I believe it's Nissan Stadium where the Titans play, and it's through the streets of Nashville. It's insane. I went there as a fan just to hang out, and like on the second day, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a big event like IndyCar, but they usually run like other series. So they had like Pirelli GT4, they had Trans Am there, they had the Toyota GR Cup, they had the Stadium Super Trucks where they put like ramps at the start finish line, and Stadium Super Trucks is crazy. Y'all need to see that. Y'all need to watch that once. Stadium Super Trucks, they get like these crazy V8 trucks with insane suspension, and then just run them on the track, and they're hitting jumps, and I can't even explain it, but it's insane. But like during one of the Indy Next sessions, I see a dude over there with like a photo vest and everything, and he's I go over and talk to him, and I'm like, dude, I was like, hey, hopefully I'm not bothering you. I kind of wanted to get into photography, but I didn't know what I wanted to take photos of. Just before doing that, I kind of would just take a camera places. And I asked him, like, what do you do? And he was like, oh, I'm here with TKO Motorsports. I travel with the team. We go all over the United States, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I want to do that. That sounds pretty sick. So then we exchanged numbers, and I told him, I was thinking about buying a camera, and he told me to, he was like, basically asked me, like, what area I lived at, and I told him I live in Georgia, and he goes, well, have you ever gone to Petit Le Mans? And I was like, I've heard of it, but I've never gone. And he goes, yeah, it's the big event in IMSA, end of the year. It's the 10-hour race. He was like, it's really open for spectators. You go, take a camera. And he was like, let me know what you get. And I think he said that without expecting me to actually go do it, because I feel like I was annoying him. Now he's a good friend of mine. His name's Frank. He goes by the name, I'm going to shout him out. He goes by the Handle Street Official Media. I think he was just... Yeah, I think he was just expecting me like, get out of here. But we talked for like an hour, and we've become really good friends now. But yeah, and then I went that first day. The photos sucked, but I was hooked. I loved it. I loved being out there. I was out there for a practice day and a quali day. And then when I got home, I called him, sent him some photos, and he was like, you're seeing the right things, but let's go ahead and adjust some settings. And he sat with me on the phone for like 2 hours, talking me through photos and composition, the exposure triangle, shutter speed, everything. I literally feel like his guidance has probably advanced me a few years. Because when I tell people I've only been doing this 2 years, they look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, listen, I have someone who's like been in the industry for almost a decade feeding me info on how to move myself. So I was like, I have a lot of knowledge, but I don't have a lot of experience. But that was, once I did that's first Petite as a spectator, I was like, I want to do this so bad. And I've been out there almost every other weekend, minus a couple month break in between, but it's like, I enjoy it.
Are you tied to one track, or are there multiple tracks you'll take photos at?
I will. There's some plans to go to Barber in October. I'm not gonna say who yet, but someone has asked me to come take photos. So I'll be at Barber in October. And then second or third week in September, I'm actually going to Tennessee to photograph some rally. Ooh. So they do rally through the woods of the mountains in Tennessee, and I'm pretty excited for that. That one's just as a spectator, but I've been seeing it's pretty open, so I'm kind of just going to check it out. I'm gonna make some videos on that. But yeah, right now I'm really only tied to Road Atlanta unless other teams or people wanna pay me to come out somewhere. I'll go anywhere, but that's the hard part, is getting people to commit to the travel part, because travel's expensive.
Yeah, have you done any rally events before, or would this be the first?
That would be my first. Rally's not big in the States.
Oh yeah,
and that's like it's
depending on where you go, it is.
Yeah, it's so. I want it to become huge, because that is one thing. I mean, like I said, I know I watch a lot of Formula One and IndyCar and Trans Am, but I love WRC, but I never get to watch it live. But I love getting the highlights, and WRC. I want it to be like, I want to be near the track or the road, really, because it's not even a track; it's a road. But yeah.
Also, it depends on the course there, because I'm not super familiar with like that race, but that feels like it sets itself up perfect for photographing it.
Oh yeah, a lot of people. That's why I picked. I mean, one, it was the closest, but two, a lot of people said like that one, especially because it's in like late September. Some of the stuff down here is starting to change color, some of the leaves and stuff, so it starts looking really, really pretty around that time of year. I mean that Newport, Tennessee area is pretty almost year round, but in particular, as things are starting to change color and the air gets cooler, it's really nice there. So
Yeah,
think,
just
think
ripping through the
Jack has-
woods like.
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to make a video on it. It's gonna be a blast.
I think Jack might have a more specific question about
Oh,
events.
well, mentioning Tied to Road Atlanta, I'm sure it doesn't fit with the team's budgets at all, but you ever go to the 24 Hours of Lemons?
I have not gotten to. One, I don't know. So it gets cold up where y'all are at. And
Yeah.
I feel like I can say this because I've also I live in the Boston area for 2 years. Not trying to like throw shade, but I think down here, when it gets cold, it gets really cold because the air is already so humid. Whereas up there, I used to like go out with like, you know, a puffy jacket in like 5-degree weather, and I'd get to go do stuff. But down here, like once it gets to like 30, it is freaking cold, and I don't want to be outside all day in that. Like it's just I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, up y'all's cold is cold, but ours just like because the air is so wet down here all the time, it just feels
Yeah.
it feels worse in my opinion.
I think there's also a level of like getting used to it. Like,
Yeah.
because it is so much hotter when it does. Because here, when it first hits 30, it's brutal. But then when it gets back up to 30, it feels like summer.
Yeah,
Right, but
that's
if-
fair.
If you don't get the like really bad days, then the cold, any cold, just feels brutal.
That's fair. That's fair. But I've never got to do that, but I want to.
Yeah, it just seems like a really fun event.
I looked up. 'Cause I didn't know what the heck that was. I looked it up early, like before we started, and there's literally a picture of a car. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
upside down, but it's dry. It's not
But
like
it's up-
upside
it's
down
right side
as
up.
a flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Well,
what
they,
is
they
going
also
on?
have to. They also have like a pit stop punishment wheel. So like
Yeah,
they have a punishment where you spin and like your first pit stop, half the crew has to be dancing to a song or something while they're doing a driver change. Like it's a fun event. There's one car. It's like an old like Dodge Dart, like the wagon looking Dart, like from the 70s. But it's
Yeah.
been made out to look like the USS Enterprise. And I was like, what is going on?
Wait, is that
They had
that's I think if you look at other, that's one of the first. Yeah, that's one of the first photos.
They have another one that I think it's like a Fiat, but the outside has been made to look like a lemon. So,
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
There's like a devil one.
it's a pretty crazy
It's like a-
thing.
yeah, it's nuts. Oh my god.
I was just
Um,
curious because I almost like when me and a group of other people tried to start putting together a team for it a few years ago, and we never quite got to the point of actually pulling it off. But you know, with the budget being semi-accessible, it was.
Yeah. I mean, but the initial purchase of the car has to be less than 500. I mean, there's people that have they bought the shell of the car for 500 and put a crazy engine in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's that LS swapped Mini Cooper doing here? It's like, I bought it for 500. It's like, no, you didn't. You bought the car, yeah. I guess you fit
You
the
put the
rules,
shell,
but
not the
what-
engine.
who put a V8 in this? So,
So does that mean because you're from Boston, you're a Boston sports fan?
I'm not from Boston. I just happened to live there for 2 years.
You have to live there. Okay, where are you outside of motorsports? Are you a fan of any teams, any sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falcons, Braves, and the Washington Capitals.
What?
So I want you guys to look
Wait a
up.
minute.
So I want you guys to look up my name, and it'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah. No, that tracks.
Oh god.
Because
that
I'm not rooting for the Maple Leafs.
That was
you that.
literally you.
It's literally me. My name actually might
Oh my
pop up.
god.
Not to sound crazy. My name actually might pop up now before him, but used to, it was him.
I hate to say it, about 15 things pop up before yours.
No, I gotta optimize my SEO then. I gotta get going on that.
I mean, for my search, you're fighting against Wikipedia, so
That's true.
that's gonna.
Yeah, Mike Palmateer has a Wikipedia page, but at least I can say that I have a street named after me in Toronto. So, but yeah, once my dad told me about that because I mean, my dad and mom are both from up north. My mom is Canadian. My dad is from Iowa. So my dad was a big Blackhawks fan. My mom is a Canadiens fan. So hockey was being watched pretty religiously in our household. I mean, those are two original six franchises, so they're pretty big fans of them. And then my dad was like, "Hey, you know there was a goalie named after you," and I was like, "Oh, cool. That's what team did he play on?" And he was like, "The Maple Leafs and the Capitals," and I was like, "Okay, I'm not rooting for the Maple Leafs. I'm sorry." And at the time we had the Thrashers, so I was a big fan of the Thrashers, but I would just keep up with the Capitals. And then when the Thrashers left, I was like, all right, I'm a Capitals fan now. And it's been painful, except for 1 year.
Haven't they been talking about reviving the Thrashers at some point, like for a third time?
So, because I've gotten to shoot ECHL hockey, one of the owners, he's on TNT, Anson Carter, used to play hockey, but he does a lot of like hockey cultivation here in Georgia. So he helped the Savannah Ghost Pirates. We have like 3 new rinks that are for youth hockey. And then it's between him and then there's another guy that they both have bids for arenas here. The one that I think they're going to move forward with is like maybe an hour outside of Atlanta. But it's called The Gathering. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with like how the Braves do their stuff, but they have the park and then they have this place called the Battery, and it's like a big retail area. Like it's huge. It's all the way around the stadium. These guys are going to do something similar with that. So it's going to be an arena, but specifically in the notes, they said that they're not gonna go forward with it, but there's notes for an NHL, organized ice. So like it's in their notes somewhere that it is like able to house NHL games, and this guy has met with Bettman multiple times. So I have a feeling it's going to happen. It might get announced in the next couple of years because they just got the permits to zone it this past year. So they might be breaking ground pretty soon, if not already. But yeah, I think it's happening. I think it's going to be Atlanta and Houston. Atlanta and Houston's going to come out at the same time.
Can we get Hartford back?
Can I say no to Houston? And can I get the Whalers back, please? I would like the Whalers back.
That'd be fine too. That'd be fine.
I want the Whalers, please. The Suns are about to leave us, man. I need something.
Yeah,
I need something. We can't just have minor league teams here, man.
But it was fun because we get to kind of test the waters with that, because like the issue was never our fans. Even when we were like last in the league, we were still like, top 15, the top half of attendance. The issue was our ownership, is they wanted to sell us and the Atlanta Hawks and the Atlanta Dream, which is the WNBA team. They kept trying to sell them over and over and over again. They didn't want anything. They were just trying to make money. This group that seems to be putting in for it is really hammering like Southern hockey like cultivation and basically like digging their roots into Georgia. UGA has a team. The Savannah Ghost Pirates sold out for 2 straight years. They sold out every home game. Atlanta Gladiators, when we do Thrashers Night, it's packed. It's sold out every single time. And we did a whole weekend where they wore the old Thrasher jerseys for the night, had like some of the original players come, and it was so sick.
That's awesome. I'm a Sharks fan.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
But y'all's young core looks really good. If your rookie and prospects turn around, I think that might be a good team. Y'all were pretty bad this year, but they were really playing. Yeah, but they were really playing a lot of the young guys a lot. And I think as they get more experience, I think they're going to be fun. I think the Sharks might be an underdog this year, to be honest.
Sneaky team. We're hoping, because the Giants are looking bad. The Niners are a wild card
Oh
at
wow,
this
you're
point.
all over the place.
The Warriors.
Well, no,
very.
baseball giants.
Baseball Giants. No, baseball Giants.
He's like
Okay,
a Bay
fair
Area
enough.
fan,
Yeah,
despite
I'm Bay
Okay,
Area.
fair
So
enough.
yeah.
San Jose
Fair
Sharks, San Francisco 49ers,
Okay,
Golden State
that's fair.
Warriors,
That's fair.
and yeah. But
That's fair.
Sharks are looking mid as hell.
I'm stuck in New York sports purgatory with some extra
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
the Jets,
sports
baby,
mixed
the
in.
Jets.
No, luckily I was not raised a Jets fan.
Oh, Bills.
No,
Nah,
Giants.
other one.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. At least
Would you like to say the
they've
other
done
team,
something
Jack?
in my life.
Yeah, what's the other team?
What do you mean? Like for?
The Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, New York and Pittsburgh sports from parents both.
Gotcha. Hey, that's fair.
So,
At least it makes
Giants,
sense.
Steelers, Yankees, Pirates, which
I know
those could
I know,
not be more opposite baseball teams.
I know some dude at my work that's like, he's a Lakers fan. Lakers,
Oh,
New
boy.
England,
Oh
Florida,
Nope.
Florida
nope,
Gators for
nope,
college
nope,
football, and I'm
no,
like, dude,
no.
do you
No.
have ties to any of those places? And
Oh,
he's like,
boy.
no, I grew up here, and I'm like, all right, sorry, then you're a Georgia fan. I'm sorry, you grew up
That's it.
10
That's it.
miles from the school, like you're a Bulldog fan. So,
Why would you
I,
want to be a Florida fan living
yeah.
there?
yeah,
Like
I
you just
know.
want to be
Yeah,
bullied?
that's-
Like
yeah, you're trying to go the opposite direction.
See, at
I-
least my mom
Yeah.
is from California, so like at least I have those ties
Yeah, you
there.
have
Like my
you
entire
guys,
family
you guys
are
have
those.
ties, but there's
Yeah.
plenty of people we know that are like, oh yeah, I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan. It's like you're not even Canadian. You've never even been there. Like, you know nobody there. You've never lived there. What are you doing in Tennessee saying you're a Canucks fan? That's crazy.
so why the Canucks? But anyway,
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like, why that?
we
what?
want to steer back to motorsports.
Sorry, we went on a wild tangent.
No,
My bad.
No, that's my bad.
I'll start
What
with that
is
Lemons question.
Yeah,
that
my
lemon
fault.
question was fire though. What has been your favorite event to photograph so far, and why, if you have one?
Ooh. So my favorite event that I've done was probably, oh boy, I don't know. It's kind of like a tough toss-up between I think this most recent Trans Am event. I'm telling y'all, this is something like my social media brain. The product for Trans Am is literally some of the best racing, and it does not get enough love. The tickets are pretty cheap. The access is fantastic as a spectator. I was media credentialed this past one. I was shooting with Adam Andretti and a magazine, so I got to get photos to him and be around the hauler, but I was also shooting for a magazine, so I was going kind of everywhere. But the access was insane. That once the day was done, the Friday, anybody that had a ticket, if they stayed after like the racing was done, they got to do a track walk for free. You got to walk on Road Atlanta at sunset. And there's drivers there that have never done that before, and I was like, oh, because I went on because I was walking with the president of Trans Am, getting shots and doing whatever, and I'm seeing like spectators come out, and I was like, oh, they're allowed to do that? And they're like, oh yeah, I know, they do it all the time. And I was like, dude, the ticket for the whole weekend's like $50.
Damn,
So-
that cheap?
Yes, and you get super close to the cars. They do their open grid walk before the race, like IMSA does, where you could come and see the cars and the drivers are suiting up and everything. And I think if Trans Am goes really hard with their social media, I think it can be a big series because the product is really good. Like the racing is good, the drivers are fantastic. The championship race is close this year between Adam, Chris, and Paul Menard. So it's three drivers that are all like within one race of each other. If someone messes up, there's a whole point swing. And then my second other one is probably this past July, for July 4th, getting to shoot that Nappy Boy Automotive T-Pain event. They rented out the track private, but let spectators come in for free. I got to shoot for my buddy Andrew Drismo. He has, I don't know if you guys have seen him on my Instagram, but he has the blue C6 Corvette. That's the homie, dude. That's my buddy. He was one of the first people to buy photos for me, so I shoot for him. But I was one of like 4 photographers that were even allowed to be there to like shoot as a designated photographer, because the track we were at is not media friendly. It's really hard to get around, so we had to have like the track shut down so we could move. So like if I wanted to change spots, they'd have to have someone come pick me up and stop the drifting for like a minute to let me move, because there's no place to walk. So I got to do some pretty cool spots. Got to meet some of T-Pain's family. Got to see T-Pain. I've only got to talk to him like once or twice in passing, so it's not like I'm hanging out with him, dapping him up or anything. But like, still being like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, he recognized my photo one time because I gave my buddy like a print, and he was like, yeah, that was pretty sick. And I was like, T-Pain just said that. That's pretty sick. So, but yeah, those were probably my 2 favorites: the Trans Am and then the Nappy Boy Drift event. So
I still can't believe that's like. Oh, that must have been such cool. The T-Pain one must have been so cool.
It was so
must
sick.
have been so
dude.
cool.
It was so sick. There's times where like I said, it's really funny, because I did definitely, when I started picking up a camera, I did not think that, especially this early, that I was going to be able to get to do some pretty neat stuff. Like I've gotten to do a ride along with my buddy Andrew, getting into a drift car and being in the passenger seat and being like, that was an eye-opening experience. And then obviously getting to meet T-Pain the first time, getting to work with good drivers like Adam Andretti, who's a nephew of one of the all-time greatest drivers,
Oh, yeah.
Mario. He's Mario's nephew. And then that same weekend, I got to see like, not like a torch being passed, but it's probably one of my favorite photos of this year, but it's Adam Andretti and Matthew Brabham, who's Jack Brabham's grandson. So and they're sitting next to each other talking, and you can like, it's one of my favorites. I don't know if you're gonna put it up on the thing, but I can send you the photo too.
I will. If you send me the photo, it's gonna be center middle.
Gotcha. So
Middle
that's
front.
cool, because it's like you can tell there's so much respect, but also so much knowledge just being passed in this photo. And just, I definitely did not think that, going on 2 years now, that I was going to be able to get to do stuff like that. And it's been pretty humbling, where there's times where I'm at the track and I'm kind of just looking around like, this is pretty sick. This is not so bad. This is pretty fun.
I do have to say, like, seeing your Instagram and what you get to do is so cool. Like, as someone, like, I'm a journalism student. I'm going into journalism. I want to be a motorsports photographer, motorsports journalist at the end of the day. But, seeing what you can do with the cameras.
And I want
nuts, dude.
And I want people to feel that. That's why I like pushing motorsports so much. Is like, especially for series like Trans Am and just most other series, where the people that run these series are so nice. The drivers are so accepting. The teams are very like, it feels, I don't know how else to explain it other than it feels like you're going on vacation for a weekend, where there's like, yeah, the teams are stressed, but the spectators are in this like vacation style mood of everyone's just having a good time. And all the teams and drivers are doing a job, but there's still like glimpses to where like they'll cut up with you, or talk joke around with the team and stuff. And it's just a fun environment to be in, and that's why I like sharing it. That's why I have no problem, like, when you ask questions, I have no problem sharing that knowledge, because going back to my buddy Frank, he could have told me to just piss off. He was like, I get out of here, I'm working. But for him to take the time to spend that time with me and just talk to me for a little bit and give me some insight on what he did, to see what it turns into now. I'm excited to see what it turns into in a few years. But that's why I enjoy sharing that knowledge. A couple weekends ago, I actually did a workshop where I had 6 other photographers with me, and I was showing them. Some of them were portrait photographers, some of them were brand new, some of them had only done like product photography, but they were interested in what I've done. So I took them out there and had 6 photographers, and I showed them different parts of the track in different spots, and here's what settings I'm using, and here's how I pan, and it was cool to see. It was cool to take a step back and be like, all right, I think I'm doing something more than just taking pictures, and I think that's what I want to do. Is I don't just want to be the guy that takes cool car photos. I want to really cultivate motorsports and help it grow in my own way, whether I impact it or whatever. I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I think you're doing it pretty well. I will say, I think you're doing it damn well so far. I mean, with the way that you've been so open with me, and I've had a lot of questions over the past couple of months that I've been taking photographs, and you've answered every single one of them. It's been very humbling.
Well, I've had my
yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I thought oh, you take a photo, you just take the photo. No, there's like panning, and there's different settings, and oh my god,
it's a lot.
Oh.
And I've had my fair share of people where like I'll still ask a question and they'll look at me and like, dude, I'm busy, and I'm like, I remember one. I don't know if it was any big photographer, but it was a guy who had been doing this for a while, and the key piece of info is that the session was red flagged, so there's no cars on track. And I asked him, all I was asking was like, hey, what team are you shooting for? How long you been doing this? And he was like, dude, can you go away? I'm working. And I was like, where? There's no cars. What are you working on? And I remember being so annoyed about that, because I was like, it takes 2 seconds just to be, a nice person. And maybe I don't know, maybe I caught him at a bad time. But I was like, working where? There's no cars on track, dude. And I was like, you know what? I was like, sorry, I just kind of walked away. But I mean, I've had other instances where longtime photographers have kind of I could tell they're gatekeeping info, and I'm not trying to like step on toes or steal clients or anything. Sometimes I'm just asking questions, because that's how you find info out. And it's just, yeah, I've had some people gatekeep info, and I'm looking at them like, yeah, I can tell you're not telling me everything. So I just try not to be that kind of guy where, like I said, we're all doing this for the most part for fun. I know we spoke before the show started, but yeah, like I have a regular job. If this ends up being something that makes money, great. I would love to be able to do this as a job. But if it doesn't, to get to the point where I'm making extra money, just being able to do what I get to do is just so fun. I love being able to do it.
Yeah, I think also because you've done a lot of events, right? How many events do you think you've done over the past 2 years?
I believe last I counted, I've done 32.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's track days. That's racing events. That's drift stuff at the track across the street of Road Atlanta, and then a couple car shows. But yeah, it gets pretty hectic. It's gotten pretty hectic sometimes.
Yeah. What's like the longest you've gone back to back to back to back sheets?
Dude, this recent run, to be honest, from like May to July, there was stuff almost every weekend. So I mean, May you had I had Formula Drift, Grid Life. Then June there was some SCCA stuff. And then going into July, I had the Nappy Boy event, the WRL, and then some track days. And it's like, that was probably the busiest I got. But I think that's about to get topped by what happens in September. Because from September 6th to the third week in October, I have something every single weekend.
Damn.
So that's probably the longest straight shot that I've had where I have something every weekend.
And with legit travel in there too, right?
Yeah, there's a couple legit travel times where I actually have to go further than just 30 minutes from my house.
Which going into especially a stretch like that, but really any weekend, how do you prepare for it? Like, how do you gear yourself up for it mentally? How do you get through? Because we were talking
So
about the sun before the show,
yeah,
I know, but
yeah. So dealing with the sun, like I know Road Atlanta pretty well. So usually, like when I was shooting the Nappy Boy event, I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know which way the track was like orientated. So I looked up on like the sun tracker, like okay, the sun's gonna be on this side of the track at 10, but at 6, okay, I might want to be. Let me see what the track looks like, and I looked at like different shots. I knew other people had photographed there before, so I looked at some of their photos. Okay, I was like, okay, I could stand here. I could let me see what this looks like. Um, but unless I have like a true client, most of them that I've gotten in the past have said they just want really cool photos, or we need the brand on the side. We don't really care where the car is at. We just want our sponsorship on the side to be seen. I kind of have free reign, and I don't try to push it too much to make a shot list. But I have some I'll have like 4 or 5 that I'm like, all right, I have to get them in turn 7 with the sign in the back, or you got to get them coming out of the S's in 5 and 6. But I try not to like force it too much, or like detail orient every single photo I want to take. And then I clear like memory cards, move all the memory cards off, charge batteries, so that way I don't have to worry about anything throughout the weekend. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Clean the lenses, a light little dust off, and nothing super crazy.
I actually have a funny story if you want to hear it real quick about
Yeah.
my last 2 times at Lime Rock. So I took photos for a track day at Lime Rock. For this past was August and May. I think were the last tours I went to. And it was August and July maybe, or June, one of the two. And with the first one, I got my camera bag ready, got both batteries charged, got everything ready. I head out at like 6 in the morning with my dad and my sister, who were going to, go to the track day. We get there, I unload my stuff, I have my camera out, I'm looking for my SD cards, and they're just not in the bag. They were not in the bag. So I'm like scrambling, like, did I lose them? What happened? I call my mom, who was still home, and she was gonna come later, and I'm like, can you please go to my room and go to the first drawer in my desk drawer and check if my SD cards are there? She checked, they were there. I'm like, how did I forget the SD cards?
Yep.
That's critical. The second thing was, in August, I went again for another track day, and I forgot to clear one of the SD cards fully. So I had I had enough SD cards to last, but if I forgot 2 of the SD cards that had I think 16 gigs and 8 gigs, which are the 2 most that I have, filled with photos still. And I was like, I can't. So I had to take photos, and I didn't get to take as many photos.
Yeah.
But you gotta be prepared.
It happens to the best of us. About 6 months in, I forgot. I only had 2 cards at the time, and I forgot that I had put one in my little USB reader here at the house, and the other one was full. I hadn't swapped them yet, so I had to make an emergency run to Walmart and buy 2 more. So now I'm running with 8 at all times, and so there's no reason for me to need 8, but heaven forbid my dumb self forgets a couple. I was like, all right, I know I'm at least good for the day. So, and because I've only gotten to go to Road Atlanta for a big event, I'm back here every night. So I'm sure, but if I was at for the event in Tennessee, I'm bringing a file transfer thing. So since I don't really want to work on a laptop, because nobody's gonna need the photos right then and there. I'm just gonna have them transfer over. I'm just gonna plug it in and transfer all this stuff over, and keep moving.
Yeah.
Everyone's forgot the SD cards. It happens.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I can't take photos. My mom was coming 4 hours later than us, and I was like, dude, I have to go. But we're only gonna be here for 2-3 hours after she gets here. Oh my god, it was a mess. And she got there, she brought the SD cards. I took like maybe 150 photos. Normally I take around like 250, 300 plus. I only got to take like 150. I was so bummed that day. I was like, only a handful were good. I was like, well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, this day was fantastic. But
Yeah.
yeah. Are there any challenges you frequently face when shooting motorsports, and how are you able to overcome them if you have?
Um. Well, the heat is one. Is I'm outside pretty frequently. I mean, I look like, yeah, that looks like ice cream, dude. I didn't realize how burnt I got today. I look like an idiot. The heat, because I often forget to deploy sunscreen, so I'm usually much pastier than this. But this summer I've gotten quite cooked. Um, this past WR event, I mean, that's really the main thing, especially being down here in Georgia, is the heat. It is so hot. It is so humid some days. I mean, that Sunday for the World Racing League event that I did, the heat index was like 107, and I was out all day. So I was like, and it's humid, it's hot. I'm lugging my camera equipment around, and I'm like, I'm used to it because I mean I walk a lot and I run a lot too. So it's like, it's the physicality part is not going to get me, but the heat will literally wear you down like all day, and it's like, that's really the hard part, is the challenges of, it's the weather. You're at the mercy of the weather for the day. Um, those are really the biggest challenges, and you just got to kind of prep for them. So like when it's super hot, before I get to the track, I'm gonna buy a couple more Gatorade electrolyte drinks and just kind of take it easy, because you don't want to rush and run around and be crazy and end up passing out or whatever. So you just try to pace yourself on days like that a little more.
Actually, speaking of at the mercy of the weather, have you had to / how do you handle the wet when it gets wet?
I love it.
Okay. I mean,
I love it, actually, as a photographer. I think most photographers, even if they say they don't like it, they secretly love it, because there's just something about, like, I don't know, like a car badge with water droplets all over it. You're like, all right, that's a heater. That's a banger photo. I use my handy dandy super state of the art camera cover. I rip a hole in a trash bag and just keep moving.
oh yeah.
So there's other people, like, so it started raining during Formula Drift, and everyone's like throwing on like this $100 cover from Amazon, and I had 3 trash bags in my pocket, so I was like, yeah, I'm over here suffocated because I'm like in the trash bag. But it worked, and I got some banger photos, so I'm not even complaining.
Yeah, I mean, there you
Yeah.
go, right?
I just, I don't know. And some of the camera covers I don't like, because they're set up for like, because I shoot viewfinder only. I don't like using the LED screen or the LCD screen to shoot. I don't know. I just don't like how it looks, and I can't see what I'm trying to get, if that makes sense. Like when I'm in the viewfinder, like I know, like, okay, I got this, looks good, everything's perfect. But with the LCD screen, it's just like I can't 100% tell. And all the camera covers that I've used make it to where like you can't get to the viewfinder. And I think there's some that you can, but I just throw a trash bag on and it works. So I just keep using it.
Do you what camera do you have, by the way?
So I have a Canon R10 mirrorless camera, and then I run a Tamron 150mm to 600mm, big boy lens, huge. And then I have like a 100 to 400 that I kind of use in the paddock for like close-up shots. I mean, it's a pretty lengthy lens, but it does good shots in the paddock. And then I have like a normal kit lens that's where I do like my wide angle stuff. But yeah, that mirrorless, man, that camera's nuts. I'm glad.
How much?
Yeah. So I think brand new, it's like 1,000, maybe 1,100.
Oh wait,
But I got a really,
hell yeah.
I got a really good deal on it
Great.
because the guy that sold it to me used it as a second camera, and whatever he transferred to was like I don't really need this anymore. So he's like, you want to do 550? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to do 550.
Damn.
And it only had like 6,000 shutter clicks at the time, which by camera standards, like that's really low. That's like very, like I got 6,000 camera shutter clicks a couple weekends ago. So it's like really low. And yeah, no, the thing is, I'm glad I learned on like an older camera and was able to use the mirrorless, because now I can use all the bells and whistles and gadgets and everything's just much faster. So
Yeah, that's good for a quality camera. I mean, that's
yeah, it's one of the
good in
like,
the first place.
Yeah, it's good regardless, but it's like the technology is getting so good. That's why I've had people in comments on like my TikTok or on Instagram, or they'll message me or whatever and be like, "Hey, I got this camera. Like, is it good?" And I'm like, if the thing's newer than like 2013, even older than 2013, but especially if it's newer than 2013, your stuff starts to look similar, especially on things like Instagram and TikTok. Like your stuff is almost indistinguishable from like especially newer cameras. Now, if you're trying to get stuff in like a magazine or print it or blow it up, then yeah, you're gonna need like the crazier camera with the gigantic megapixels and huge resolution. You know what I mean? Like you could see a billion colors or something. But it's like if you're trying to just get your foot in the door and get this stuff out on social media or for people to have, like, you don't need to ball out on a $10,000 camera and a $10,000 lens, because if you don't understand your camera, that $20,000 setup's going to make you take bad photos. So
Yeah. Did you when you started, did you do fully like everything manual settings, or did you do some automatic, some manual? Like, what was your setup when you first started?
So the guy who taught me, Frank, he wanted me to learn manual, but he also said like it's okay to use things like shutter priority, because if you want something at like 1/80th of a second or whatever, sometimes like something as simple as a cloud can completely change your aperture number from like an 8 to a 14. Just a cloud getting in front of you, or if you're looking to the left and you're trying to follow this car through, sometimes by the time you end up on the right, it's a completely different setting that you're using. So I practiced an aperture priority, and then as I got more comfortable, or if I need like a shot where like I know exactly what I want, I just go manual.
What makes motorsports photography different than like regular sports photography in terms of like approach?
It's the vibe. It's almost like to me it's very guerrilla style. It's very like you are at the mercy of the weather. And I think sports photography is something like that too. But it's so, I guess, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just the whole encompassing vibe of motorsports photography. It's the sounds, it's the smells, it's the fans, it's the teams, it's the people that work at the track. It's like, to me, that's what makes it different, is like there's this whole it's a different kind of vibe. Everyone's even as you start getting more into the business side where things have to be delivered, it still feels fun. Whereas like I've done some time in sports photography, and you could tell like everyone's stressed. All the people behind the scenes are running ragged, and you're like, dude, this is supposed to be enjoyable. Like, I understand we're doing a business, but it's like, I don't know. It just the vibe feels different. Yeah.
It's so interesting to me when, obviously your subjects are moving a heck of a lot faster.
Yeah, the vibes feels a little more chill, but it's like, I mean, I've seen times where like I've worked a hockey game and they'll take photos and they need pictures like before the next period starts, and it's like you got 20 minutes to edit all of the photos that you just took in that period because they need certain things, or if a player scored, you need it for a scoring graphic. And there's some times that it's deliverables that you got to have to do, like throughout the race. Like, I've never covered a 24-hour race, but I understand the business behind it, where you need some photos that like, hey, here's hour 8, this is where our car is, so they can make graphics or whatever. But from stuff that I've worked is you still need to make your photo deliverables, but it's not like super stressful. So I'm sure it can be, but Yeah, I've just gotten a completely different vibe being in motorsports.
And you talked about editing your photos. Does that mean like, what do you mean by edit?
Like throwing them in Lightroom. Sometimes there's things in the background that you might want to get rid of or touch up some of the lighting a little bit. Um, Usually for sports, you don't do too much editing because you are capturing the moment. I kind of do a similar style to where like I can blast through photo edits pretty quickly because I don't change a lot. Um, but there's some things like um, if I want a viewer to look at a certain thing, I'll do like masks on the side and kind of like funnel the viewer's eyes into what I want them to see. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't really do too much to photos.
Um,
I'll admit I've taken some cones out. All right, you got me.
hey,
I've
that's not a
removed some
bad thing.
cones from the background, man.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. I had
put
about
me in
30
photographer
photos. I had 30 photos ruined for my last track day because this damn cone just kept ruining my shot. And let me tell you something. These photos were like some of the best photos I took, and I couldn't get the cone removed because I don't have Lightroom or anything like that. I don't have an editing software, photo editing software like that, so I couldn't
You get-
remove them. So I just what?
I was just gonna ask if you got any through school. Like if you got Creative
I
Cloud
do,
through
but
school.
like I do, but they
But-
like they only give it per semester.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So and they don't give like I could get like a discount, like a student I'd probably get a student discount to like Adobe, but like normally like what I did last semester was I needed Adobe I needed like the Adobe products for classes, so I just used them for classes and personal things as well. So like if I wanted to like edit a video, I'd use Adobe instead of my normal Filmora because I
Yeah.
had access to Adobe. But normally I don't have access to like Adobe, Lightroom, any of that. But yeah,
Okay.
them cones piss me off. They need to move that
Sometimes
cone
you
next time
just
because it's in
sometimes you just gotta
prime.
move them.
It's in the middle of the shot, like in the middle of the pan. It's in the middle of the pan, man. Can you like move the cone to like the end,
Yeah.
the end of the beginning of the oh my god.
I felt so empowered. I was at turn 7 at Road Atlanta, and they always put this fire extinguisher like right where I want to pan. If like I was at a spectator spot, so like in the middle of it, you'll see like the handle of the fire extinguisher, and because I was media credentialed, I was like, "Can I move that?" And they were like, "Where?" And I was like, "I'm just gonna move it like this way more, so it's not in the shot." And he's like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "All right, now I can get good stuff." And it's like I felt so good, dude. I was like, "Get that
Dude,
fire
if
extinguisher
that-
out of here."
If that cone is there next time, I'm gonna ask the steward. I'm like,
Be like,
man,
"Yeah, can you
can
just
I
move it a
like
little
move
bit?"
this cone literally just a little bit further down because that's in the prime of my shot right there. It's just
Yeah.
I got like 30, 50 shots like fully ruined because of that damn cone. If you could shoot any motorsports event in the world, what would it be?
God, I feel like okay. I have two.
Okay.
WRC Rally in Kenya
Yep.
and the Bathurst
Ooh.
1000.
Ooh.
Those
Yo,
are
the
two.
Bathurst
Those are
1000
the
seems
two.
kind of fire.
Those are the two I want to photograph so bad. And then just for for laughs, always wanted to shoot Monaco Formula One. I know it's a little bit of a parade, but I think that's what everyone kind of grabs. But yeah, WRC Kenya, Bathurst 1002 are at the top of my list. Like
Bathurst is such a weird track, man. I hate
So
it and I
beautiful.
love it. That's the one with the weird ass downhill, right?
yeah,
Oh
I've
my
smacked
god.
that wall a few times in Gran Turismo. So
No, I have two. No,
Yeah.
I don't have a PlayStation, but I when we went on vacation a couple weeks ago, they had a PlayStation, so I was playing Gran Turismo the entire time.
Yeah.
Bathurst pissed me off because I would take too much speed in the corners and I'd just be smacking against the walls while trying to pass people. Oh my
Yep.
god.
yeah.
The last question: what tips do you have for people trying to get into sports photography?
So, as it pertains to sports, reach out to like athletic directors at high schools or even some like minor league teams might let you come out there for a day just to say that you're learning. I mean, don't go into the expectation that you're going to make money from that, because understand that it is an experience thing. As for like the motorsport side, I would say go to events. Take your camera and go to events and just learn your camera. Learn what makes a good photo. Study some of the other photographers. I wouldn't say copy what they do, but people like Jamie Price, Halston Pittman, Kim Illman give really good insight into like the mindset of photography. And just go to events, and as you get down there, the hardest skill to probably learn is how to talk to people, because you never know what you're going to get just if you don't ask. I've gotten to do some crazy things just by, hey, you mind if I ride with you in that Supra? And they're like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't think that was going to work. All right. So it's and my rule, this is my rule. I wouldn't say everyone has to do it, but if I'm not taking photos, I'm probably talking to somebody. And I think that's how I've been able to network so quickly and so broadly. But yeah, I would just say try to go to every event you can and just, network, learn your camera. And then for the sports, it's a little harder because you can't just show up. Try to find an athletic director or like a media relations person. Shoot them an email, don't just say, hey, I want to come take photos. It's like, I'm so-and-so. I've been doing photography for X amount of time. I want to learn. Is there any day that's available where I can come and, just give me one spot, you know what I mean? And just so I can learn. And usually the media people will, if they don't answer, okay, try somewhere else. But if they do answer, they're pretty good about letting people come in and try, to learn photography. Just don't ruin your shot and do stupid stuff.
Yeah, that last one, I feel like, I don't know. I think especially in NASCAR, I feel like we've seen a couple people.
Oh my goodness, there's been times where like I've had to deny a couple people at a photo workshop because that's another thing. If you're gonna message me and ask me, hey, I've been learning, I like car photos. Can I come hang out? You probably shouldn't have a video of you at a takeover on your account because you're definitely not gonna come.
Ooh.
So I'm not even gonna answer. I'm not even gonna answer you. Yeah, that was
some good advice.
Yeah. So if you're gonna message me, take all of your takeover content off of your account. Otherwise, I'm not gonna.
Private it for the first time. Private it for like a couple of days until you respond, and then put it
yeah,
back
at least
up
wait till you meet me before I find that out, dude. I can't tell you to go away if you're right in front of me. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, and that is ApexToOval. That is our interview with Michael Palmateer. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me, man. Those were good questions. I like it. That was fun, man.
Also, because I meant to say this last on Monday's podcast, but we have two more potential people coming on the podcast. I'm telling Jack just now. Number one of them is Scott Holla, who is a NASCAR and motorsports in general paint scheme rapper. He raps the cars for like paint schemes and stuff. I've seen him on social media a lot. He did respond to our video a while back, and I did message him, and he's open to coming on the podcast. And the second one is the GOAT of NASCAR and IndyCar news, Bob Pockrass, who has replied and is coming on the pod at some point. So my GOAT, Bob Pockrass, So that's it for today. Thank you guys. We'll have another podcast talking about the past week of motorsports. And that's it. Peace out.